Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is LaDonna DiCamillo. I am with BNSF Railway. I am also the immediate past chair of the Long Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. I am the immediate past chair of BizFed and rolling on to the chair of the BizFed Institute. As chair of the BizFed Institute, it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's forum. While many of you already know that BizFed is a grassroots alliance of more than 125 diverse business organizations representing 268,000 business organizations throughout LA. 268,000 businesses throughout LA County. You might not be as familiar with the BizFed Institute, BizFed's nonpartisan, nonprofit educational arm. The BizFed Institute complements BizFed by engaging civically minded nonprofit, academic, and regional thought and business leaders for the purposes of building strong communities. The Institute engages, equips, educates business owners with the necessary knowledge, connections, and resources needed to create a robust regional economy. This happens through policy roundtables, webinars, business intelligence reports, and major educational forums like today. The BizFed Institute conducted 2 previous Next Up convenings here at Woodbury University. In August 2013, we brought together industry experts, regulators, economists, and environmental advocates for a no-holds-barred discussion and analysis of the challenges and opportunities presented by California's massive Monterey Shale energy deposit. The outcomes from that event continue to inform the state and national conversation about that critical public policy issue. This past June, we brought together regulators, environmental activists, state and local agencies, and private sector leaders to delve into challenges of ensuring a clean and reliable water supply for life and business. We actually had panelists who had just finished litigating with one another, engaged in a mature conversation about how to solve our water resource challenges. We were surprised when at the end of the day, all of these diverse voices agreed that the state needs a serious water effort. So BizFed took those marching orders and turned education into advocacy and mobilized the business community to help get Proposition 1, a state water bond, on the ballot for this November. Today, as we bring together diverse voices to address affordable housing and economic development, our hope is not only for a lively conversation, but also for solutions that can drive action. We are very fortunate to be able to hold today's Next Up Business Forum here in the Fletcher Jones Auditorium of Woodbury University. Under the leadership of our next speaker, Dr. Louis Kalinga, president of Woodbury, the university has continued to be a major investor in BizFed and to play an active role in our important work. As you can imagine, Dr. Kalinga has a long and distinguished career in higher education and education leadership. His professional interests include servant leadership, strategic planning, total quality management, and international business with a focus on Southeast Asia. He has served as a member of the Board of Examiners of the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, the country's highest award for quality and performance excellence since 1997. An international expert in strategic planning and quality management, Dr. Kalinga has assisted the governments of Indonesia, Mongolia, Pakistan, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Vietnam on the establishment and implementation of their Baldrige-based national awards for quality and business excellence, as well as the infusion of quality assurance into the higher education systems. It is my pleasure to thank Dr. Kalinga once again for opening up this amazing facility to BizFed and the BizFed Institute. I'd like to welcome him to come up and offer a few words of welcome.
Good morning and welcome to Woodbury University. We are the second oldest institution of higher education here in Los Angeles. We celebrated our 130th year last week. And as such, we are one of the true gems of Southern California. Please allow me to say a few words about Woodbury, not only as a commercial break, but also to articulate why we support BizFed, why we support these community events. At Woodbury University, for the past 130 years, our focus has been about innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Those are three components that are necessary for economies to flourish. In fact, as we speak right now, something related to the program that we're having today, we have a studio in Hollywood, which is one of our off-campus facilities, and their project of the architecture student there is envisioning low-cost housing in Hollywood. Okay. So Woodbury's Business College, as we were initially named, was founded on July 19, 1884, by entrepreneur and education pioneer F.C. Woodbury, who moved to the emerging city of Los Angeles after 17 years of educational leadership in the more established city of San Francisco. At that time, LA was a fledgling city of 35,000 Angelinos. So, with the establishment of Woodbury's Business College and being one of the founding members of the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, F.C. Woodbury forever enshrined two of the four pillars of Woodbury education: entrepreneurship and civic engagement. So we offer only a few programs. They're very niche-oriented. They're primarily in the areas of architecture, design, business, and organization leadership. But those are very notable programs in their fields. For instance, our 2-year-old Game Art and Design program, 2 years old, was recently ranked number 10 in the West. Our fashion marketing program, number 15 in the nation. Our interior architecture program, number 5 in the West. Architecture, 5 in the West. Fashion design, 5 in the West. And animation program, number 13 in the West. Now, why was I attracted to Woodbury University? Now, I joined Woodbury University in the fall of 2012. That's 2 years ago. And the main attraction is our value proposition, which I know you would appreciate. We take students from a diversity of academic profiles, from A students to the D students, from a diversity of socioeconomic profiles, from those who need financial aid and those who don't need financial aid. And we transform them. We educate them in the few degree programs that we offer, using the 4 pillars of Woodbury education: civic engagement, entrepreneurship, design thinking, and transdisciplinarity. And as a result, we transform them into graduates with highly valued degrees that enable them to compete and thrive in almost any environment. Now, of course, it's one thing if we say that that is our value proposition, but it's another if other people say it. Now, very recently, Money Magazine ranked Woodbury University as number 15 among the nation's top 25 colleges that add the most value, an external validation of that value proposition. So what is our secret sauce? The secret sauce is the intentional integration of those 4 pillars of Woodbury education in the few degree programs that we offer. So we therefore empower people to do extraordinary things. And as a result, we share an affinity with the work of BizFed, particularly the educational mission of BizFed. And so for this reason, I'm very happy to welcome you all to Woodbury University and to be one of those who would open this event. And I'm very happy also to introduce one of our supporters here at Woodbury, Tracy Rafter.
Hi, I'm Tracy Rafter, the founding CEO of BizFed, and indeed I serve on the board of directors here at Woodbury University. So when he says I'm a supporter, I'm all in. I'm here helping to achieve these goals. Dr. Kalingo is a great visionary and leader in our community. We're grateful for this wonderful facility. Is it so nice? How convenient it is, how beautiful it is, accessible, and so we're glad that you came and joined us today. I want to welcome you on behalf of BizFed. It takes countless hours and significant resources to offer an event of this magnitude. which we couldn't do without the support of our event sponsors, of which you've seen the slide now 622 times. But and Christopher Lamar in the back, thank you for running that. But I'm going to give a shout out to JP Morgan Chase, to the LA County Community Development Commission, Southern California Association of Governments, Cost Resource, the AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust, Los Angeles and Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council, and Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local 78, Randy Witt Productions, our videographer here today, and of course Woodbury University. The thing I like about our sponsors and supporters is you couldn't have quite more of a diverse cadre of folks on one slide. Is that something or what? And that's what BizFed is all about, and the BizFed Institute in particular is bringing the best and the brightest from sort of every lens and viewpoint, anyone who cares about our region, our community, and how we can tackle the problems in front of us and also celebrate the solutions when we achieve them together. We're also fortunate today to have several elected officials or their representatives with us to participate. So we bridge, as you see, academia, business, labor, and also elected our government officials too. So today we had a great response. We have Mayor Megan Shawley Wells of Culver City. We have Mayor Joseph Lyons from the city of Claremont. We have San Gabriel City Council member Chin Ho Leo. We have the San Fernando City Council member Jesse Avila. We have Culver City Council member Jim Clark. We have La Habra Heights City Council member Kyle Miller. We have David Riccatello. Did I get Riccatello? And I know you're here from the office of LA County Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas. You were very helpful in making today come together. We also, from LA County Supervisor Mike Antonovich's office, Adele Vizcarra. And we have Ashley Atkinson from the office of the Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti. And Ashley and I did water tours too up north trying to fight the, get the water bond success. Also today, David Hond is here. He's representing the U.S. Department of Commerce, David. So thank you all. We appreciate your participating, and you're not only listening today. I'll remind you, BizFed, for those that are first timers here at our Next Step Forum, everything we do is interactive. So while it seems like we're talking to you right now for the first few minutes, the whole day is interactive. After every speaker, every presentation, after our panel, we will do open Q&A. So as you think of things, they strike your mind, just make your notes, and we'll look for all of you to participate. You'll all have a chance for some dialogue. I want to remind everyone, too, that we do film. We are recording today. We do that for a variety of reasons, in that we want today's intel and possible solutions that may emerge by the end of our 3 hours together to be captured, and then we want to share it with the world. So much beyond what happens today. You heard we have about 270,000 businesses. We're in all 88 cities. There's 550 local elected officials in those 88 cities. And there's 3 million people that we employ, and we want to talk to all of them that couldn't make it here today. So when we record, we'll edit, and you'll have a series of YouTube videos that'll be up for the world to capture today. We'll write it into a white paper, a research document that will live forever on the internet, so anyone can come back to the bright thoughts that are captured today. And you see on the other slide that we're tweeting. So, and everyone will be connected. So it's sort of live, and then we'll live it, and then we'll post, convene it, and let lots of people. We're very viral. We're all about outreach and spreading the word. Okay, we ready to jump in? You guys all got programs when you came in, and you saw that I'm supposed to be introducing Hassan Akrada, who's the executive director of SCAG, the Southern California Association of Governments. It's the largest metropolitan planning organization in the entire United States. Unfortunately, he was called just a few hours ago to a family emergency, so we'll send prayers to his mother-in-law, and we wish his family good wishes. But at BizFed, we have our talent pool is deep and wide, and so we could not have had a more brilliant person stand in for Hassan today and tee up really kind of our point and purpose. The gentleman sitting right here to my left, Larry Cosmont, is going to help us frame the challenge. And for those of you who don't know Larry yet, which there's maybe 2 of you in the room that don't, so I'm going to go ahead and give an introduction. He's the president and CEO of Cosmont Companies. He founded it in 1986. They're the industry leader in public-private real estate transactions and public finance. In 2009, Larry created the Muni Horizons Fund, which sources private financing for public projects, for public-private partnership initiatives, infrastructure funding, and economic development. He's also the managing partner of Renaissance Community Fund, which invests and develops in mixed-use, residential, and commercial projects throughout the entire state of California. Larry's 36-year career, he started when he was 7, encompasses public-private financing structure, negotiations, development, management of real estate, public financing transactions exceeding $10 billion with a B dollars. He's an extensive track record in the public-private real estate consultant and public finance advisor. He assisted hundreds of local government agencies in public finance and real estate matters, ranging from large-scale economic development programs to site-specific real estate strategies. He was I don't know if you guys know, he was the youngest city manager ever in California. At 26, what city were you the city manager for? Bell Gardens. And he's been a city manager at, you know, what'd you say?
Not Bell.
Not Bell Gardens, let's be specific. But then he did go back when Montebello had a little problem, and he was the emergency interim city manager to recorrect them. But he's been in a lot of cities, so he knows what he's talking about. He's guided over 1,000 private sector projects. Also, he has been a big help to BizFed as an officer. He co-chairs our advocacy committee, and we together, with many others, have been running back and forth from Sacramento constantly trying to figure out the next stage for use of tax increment financing when redevelopment agencies were abolished. He's right in the middle of guiding all those discussions and advising the governor and all the folks trying to make some smart decisions. So, welcome, Larry Cosmont.
Thank you for that kind introduction. As a board member and one of the co-chairs of the advocacy committee of BizFed, I just say that to me this organization is doing an extraordinary job in bridging the issues of public policy and private investment, job creation, economic development throughout the state and in our county. So it's been a pleasure to serve on the board. It's a pleasure to be at Woodbury. The reality is this school is a major component of not only the region but the city of Burbank. My last public sector job was in 1986, and I was the director of community development in Burbank. And so I can tell you that this university and a number of other major investors and stakeholders in Burbank make this the great community that it is. I've always had a great affinity for Burbank. So thank you, Tracy. Let's talk about affordable housing. I think the spectrum of issues for affordable housing is certainly wide and deep, and the reality is here. I mean, there is an essential need to figure out a way to finance affordable housing in the wake of loss of redevelopment. And I mentioned that my last stint in public sector was the director of community development in Burbank, so that made me the executive director of the redevelopment agency. And that back in '86, we were still, at that time, I think we were the 13th largest agency in the state, and we had $4 to $5 million a year in tax increment for affordable housing, which we could leverage into 50 or 60 million. We've lost that. We've lost that at the local level. We've lost it statewide. The $12 billion of redevelopment tax increment generated a couple of $1 billion in resources for affordable housing over a finite period of time. But the power of tax increment is unique for government because it gives you a leverageable income stream. And given the land prices in California and given the rent rolls in California, the delta between market rate housing and affordable is so steep that tax credits alone from the federal government won't deliver measurable affordable housing for us. And without tax increment, we only really have federal tax credits. And we only have some specialized programs like CDBG and new market tax credits. It's just not enough on a per unit basis to deliver the amount of affordable housing we need. And the need's compelling because every study shows that California, in particular Los Angeles, leads the nation in the sort of the debt quotient requirement for housing per family, whether it's 31 to 50%. Most folks that we see every day going to work, driving to work, taking transit to work are spending much too much of their personal income on the housing component of their lifestyle. And this is still a region that requires additional transportation than mass transit. We're not fulfilling that bill yet. We're trying. So between insurance costs, housing costs, food costs, it is no wonder that we have a discussion about wages here. And what I'm here to say is that affordable housing is the flip side of the wage discussion. It's a solution if we can deliver it, because the stress gets to the private sector pretty quickly to deliver incomes to do what? To pay for shelter. So the other side of the equation is to create a leverageable income stream so that we can have dedicated revenues that can be borrowed against, so we can reduce the front-end cost of delivering affordable housing. And what do I mean by that? If you buy land in California today, if you buy land in LA, you're looking at just the unit dirt cost, somewhere between $60,000 and $200,000 per unit, depending on the neighborhood. I mean, then you add cost of construction, time period for entitlements, because we know they're so easy in California to get, the risk of capital and the cost of that, and the cost of debt, which is probably the biggest bargain in the equation today. So, you know, when you add all those up, you end up at values of $250, $300 a foot to build an apartment building, $350 in some cases or more. And the average rent for the average income support, you know, a third of that per unit cost on a monthly basis. So the delta is huge, whether it's a family of 1, 2, 4, or 6, the delta is huge. The challenge today, and I think the excellent speakers we have and the panels we have, are really to discuss the delivery system for affordable housing, what it's going to take to get the convergence we need, convergence of zoning, convergence of CEQA approval, convergence of financing, convergence of a leverageable income stream, the adaptation of tax credits on a more usable basis, the leveraging of nonprofit resources to deliver housing. It's really about all of this, because there is no silver bullet in this economy with the lack of land resources we have and the costs we're facing to deliver affordable housing simply and easily. It is going to be an all-out effort. We need to make that commitment. And I think that that's what today is a lot about, is trying to take a first step to figuring out how we can get there. I'd like to introduce our chair of BizFed, Don St. Clair, who's done an incredible job this year. You know, Tracy stands up here and talks about BizFed, but BizFed board meetings is like about 150 different species of cats that have to be herded for 2 hours with the attention span of exactly 12 seconds. So Don does a great job of that. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry, I think. As anybody who knows me well knows, my attention span itself is about 12 seconds, so it's a perfect job for me. Larry, I don't think I've ever heard the issue of affordable housing framed as eloquently as you just did. I had absolutely no idea what you were going to say, and really the way you framed it, in our society so frequently, we argue about issues, and we argue about our little pet issue, and we don't see the interconnectivity of all the things that we do. And that the lack of understanding that interconnectivity leads us to bad solutions and bad decisions. And your description of the elements of affordable housing and how it impacts our society was very, very good, very eloquent. Thank you. As BizFed's chair for this year, and also as a faculty member at Woodbury University, it's my pleasure to welcome you here as well. And we appreciate you joining us today at the university. We appreciate you joining us in support of BizFed today. One of the things we're really proud of in both organizations, at Woodbury University and at BizFed, is that we bring together diverse voices and work together in a respectful and responsible way, try to come to consensus and find solutions to the challenges facing our community and our society. That's why it's been such an honor for me to chair this organization over the last year and to herd those 120 cats, Larry. We believe our past Next Step business forums have made a real difference in terms of moving the discussion forward on important issues. And we know that's going to happen here today. It's already started.